This fucking sucks, actually. I'm sure by now you've seen one of the many YouTube or TikTok videos that are showcasing the insanity that actually happens within VRChat. Well, as a certified VRChat veteran, I'm here to tell you that, yes, all those videos are true. They actually happen. From the weird people that dwell at these places to the power-hungry, insane weirdos that run them, almost every cringe VRChat video you've seen is most likely not staged. Now, today's video is about the thing that I'm starting to hate about this virtual land. The one thing that all these VRChat cringe videos have in common, and that's, VRChat bars. But before I explain the problem, let me explain, well, how we got here. Okay, cool. The year is 2017. VRChat starts getting recommended on Steam. YouTubers like Nags start religiously uploading videos about VRChat, and this is the year that myself and plenty of others begin their VR journeys. Now, at this time, there are plenty of bars that you can join. For example, you can go to the Winchester, have a nice cold pint, and wait for all of this to blow over.
Yeah, boy!
You can go to the Milk Bar. It's at the time it actually meant milk and not whatever weird thing you're thinking of. You weirdo. But the Cream de la Crop, the best of the best, and the one that I would consider that started it all, that was the Great Pug. The Great Pug was a fantastic place to meet new people, but more importantly, it introduced a concept that will be solidified years later in the bar scene. And that's the idea of roles. See, at the Pug, everyone had a role to play, whether you liked it or not. As soon as you enter, you're greeted by a hostess. You can see waiters serving shitty, low-poly food, bartenders serving your favorite beer, and an equal amount of people drinking said beer. Also, most likely getting drunk. I don't know why I'm doing this camera angle where I'm holding it. The main point of all this is that in most Great Pug instances, you had someone playing a role at the time, and even people basing their whole gimmick around being said role. And the cool part? Everyone played along. Like, no one really bashed on this. Some would say they all did it for the love of the game, trademark 1999. Okay, let's move forward a little. The year is 2018. Uganda Knuckles have taken over, full body starts to become popular, TDA models are on the rise, and I looked like this. But the real question, what bars were popular now? Well, the Great Pug was still popping, although the RP side of that was kind of dying down. However, two new contenders have risen in the ranks, the Void Club and the Mad Cat. The Void Club was arguably the first major club in VRChat, and I already know what you're saying. Flip, it's actually a club and this video is about VRChat bars. Well, buddy, there's a bar in the Void Club, okay, so that counts as a bar. Thank you very much. There was also the Mad Cat, a bar overlooking a huge canyon that you can throw axes into. Gosh, I wonder how many axes are actually in that canyon by now. What the I have plenty of memories and stories in all three of these bars that year that I could spend hours sharing with you, but my main point about this era is that give me 1 second, okay? Sorry, who are you? Oh, really? Oh, perfect timing, actually. Okay. Hey, sorry, guys. This is actually my friend. Their name is the Death of VRChat. Now, for the record, people have been spouting this stuff for 6+ years now. I mean, people are still saying it to this day, like VRChat's dead or something. There's so many people on right now. Hey, when is it gonna be my turn? The year is 2019. The Quest 1 is integrated into VRChat, and along with it comes the most popular bar of all of VRChat's history, the Black Cat. Now, God bless Spooky Ghost Boo for creating absolutely wonderful worlds that I still use to this day. But man, Black Cat, what a world. The bar itself is fantastic. You got drinks, pancakes, multiple areas to hang out in, an epic goose. But the people that hang out here, God, the people that hang out here. The Black Cat was, and is still today, the home of every single type of VRChat player you can think of. You have racists, crashers, racist crashers, mirror dwellers, ERPers, and worst of all, children. At this point in time, so much chaos was happening that it deterred people from visiting public worlds and resorting to staying in private worlds. Some would go to label this kind of era as the death sentence of public worlds, and evidently VRChat bar culture as a whole. Well, that was until... Have you ever played Valhalla? Me neither, but don't worry, I'll give you a quick rundown on the game. Imagine a cozy anime story game where you play the role of a bartender in a dystopian downtown, serving exotic drinks and listening to the woes and life stories of your fellow customers. Well, instead of doing that in a visual novel, why not do it in VR? Welcome to the Midnight Bar, the bar that single-handedly resurrected VRChat bar culture. The goal of Midnight Bar was to bring the visual novel's elements to life, but honestly, it accomplished a lot more than that. But the most important thing about this map was, this. Remember those roles that I talked about earlier? Well, they're back, and they only consist of 2 main roles. Well, we'll talk about one for right now, and that one is the bartender role. In Midnight Bar, a bartender is required to go behind the bar and actually make drinks. There's a whole menu you can select from, and bartenders have to utilize the system from Valhalla to make said drinks. And in case you're wondering, there's over 25 drinks you can order, including secret ones that are supposedly meant for specific groups. But naturally, with the introduction of bartending that required some kind of knowledge to run the place, this actually brought back the light role-playing elements that the Great Pug had in the early days. Bartenders would tell you stories from distant lands. People would talk about their problems over a drink. Hell, I've even worked with others to solve these problems. I've heard stories of rival bar groups fighting each other for bartenders because of the knowledge and experience some of them had. Hell, I can't tell you how many times I've had bartenders tell me stories about some bar group that got broken up because of the management that was running the bar. People took this bartending stuff very seriously, and honestly, I was all for it. I met so many new friends through these public bars, and I look back at these moments very fondly. Surely nothing can go wrong. Since 2023 to now, multiple other bars have popped up, or at least they have the bartending system. The 3 big kahunas of today are Sunset Bar, Midnight Bar, and Just Be Club 4.0, or 5. I don't know what number we're on now. Sadly, all of these suffer from the same problems. Let's start with the worst of them all, the bouncer role. This role was introduced to a Midnight Bar, and how this bouncer role works is that you queue up, and then the bouncer asks for your date of birth to verify your age. If you're above 18, then they let you in, and if not, well, they send you to the gulag to get shot. Surely, a glorified position of power won't inflate people's ego in a social game. Surely. A question for you. What is the purpose of a bouncer in real life? Now, I know half of you have never been to a real life bar or club, so I'll help you out. A bouncer in real life does 2 things: security and ID checking. ID checking and making sure people are at least the required age to enter is required by law, and if the establishment doesn't do that, well, they're one call away to the authorities from getting the whole place shut down. And security? Well, I hope that's self-explanatory. When it comes to gathering a bunch of drunks into one place or building, someone has to keep the peace and make sure John stops sexually harassing Stacy for the 10th time tonight. Now, answer this. What is the purpose of a bouncer in VRChat? If you answered security and ID checking, well, you're wrong. Their only purpose is to make my life and your life a living hell. Why do I have to tell some idiot my date of birth? Do people seriously think that stop a kid from entering the world? Fun fact, every time I go to a bar world now, I just make up a random day and year to see if they actually do the math on if I'm actually that age. Spoiler alert, no, they never do. Honestly, I've said September 11th, 2001 so many times, and not a single person has ever asked about it or second guessed it. So I guess Americans have truly forgotten 9/11. But really, there's no point in checking age anymore, especially with ID verification and the creation of 18+ worlds existing. You can create 18+ worlds where VRChat will restrict anyone who isn't officially verified to be 18 or older from entering. So why, in the big year of 2025, is some goofy person in a roided out avatar asking me to dox myself for them, even though I have a big sparkly badge saying that I'm over the age of 18? It just doesn't make sense. Now let's talk security. What security is a bouncer bringing in VRChat? The ability to kick people? I mean, groups have had the power to give whoever they want the power to kick people from an instance and handle all the moderation they need to. So what security does a bouncer bring to an instance? They can't protect you in real life from threats, and what? Are they gonna protect you from drunks in VRChat? Yeah, okay man, don't utilize the block feature that VRChat has given you. Let's rely on the walking piece of cardboard to do my self-moderation. Honestly, ChatGPT would probably make better bouncer decisions than the bouncers in VRChat. Look, a group can create an entire secret police moderation force that hides in the corners of the instance, silently kicking people who don't fit their ideal role model for the commune they're trying to build. Yet, for some reason, we rely on these idiotic brain-dead people to stop all the threats coming into an instance. Great job, guys. We really did it here. Even the logistics of having a bouncer for RP purposes just doesn't make any sense. The worst things about going to a club in real life or a bar in real life is sitting in the freezing long lines waiting to get to the bouncer so you can finally get everything checked, get a pat down, get your groin grabbed real hard, and head indoors to get to somewhere warmer. This process, you know, if you go to a decent club, it usually takes an hour. Whose idea was it to bring the worst thing about going to a club or bar into VRChat? Ah yes, I love waiting in lines to dox myself. How'd you know? Well, I guess it makes sense on why people like lines. I mean, people wait in line in Roblox to get a low taper fade, so... I'm people, by the way. The problem doesn't stop at the bouncers, by the way. It's also the type of groups in general. There have been multiple instances of me joining a world and immediately being shoved into some kind of Discord drama situation. Some groups just don't believe in VRChat's age verification. I don't know why, but hey, some of them require you to send ID via Discord. Some groups promote acting like a complete degenerate in public lobbies, like ERPing on a dance floor. Or better yet, on the bar itself. Some groups are just straight up assholes and will gatekeep you out of the simplest things like ordering a drink or entering the establishment itself. Some groups, not all, but some groups are curating these horrible environments and encouraging bad actions. That's where the majority of these cringe VRChat videos and shorts are coming from. They're coming from horribly ran public bars and clubs. So, what is the solution to all this? Well, the easy one is just get rid of bouncers. They serve no purpose, their life is meaningless, and they cause more problems than they solve. Besides that, let me be honest with you. There's no true solution to any of this. It's up to the community as a whole to make the bar scene a more welcoming environment. It's up to groups to better moderate their instances and not be afraid of kicking people. And it's up to you, dear viewer, to instantly turn around and leave the instance if a bouncer won't take your official age verification for the sole purpose of abusing their power. Look, I created this video just to complain about how the public VRChat bar scene has taken a nosedive in the past year. Do I have the magical solution to solve all of these problems? No, I'm just a deranged guy on the internet talking to myself alone in my room. You know who would actually have the answer to this bar problem? These guys right here. Thanks to these guys for subscribing and doing all the funny stuff like giving me money. I don't even know what these guys do anymore, but hey, they're on a list and I'm checking it twice. Although this is like 5 days later after I recorded everything. I realized I never filmed an outro, so here we are filming an awkward outro on desktop because I'm incredibly lazy to get back onto full body and face tracking headsets. Anyways, that's enough talking. I'm now going to stare into your soul. Oh, what the f